The reason why this car is here today is because I'm gonna tinker with it, try to get this car running just how it was a few years ago. It's been having a lot of electrical issues, and the engine harness has been swapped out, but there are small like connection shortages somewhere in the harness or the body harness of the car, because one minute it'll be running cherry, boosting hard like it should, next minute it'll start misfiring, having a lot of you know, bogging down issues and stuff like that. But I also noticed that the Honda S100 is no longer in this car, and I believe it has an S300 now, and also it has an aftermarket distributor. Once we figure all of that out, and I think because I want to eliminate that aftermarket distributor, she also brought me her Honda coil pack system, which is right there. We also got some wide bands and sensors and stuff that we'll do once the car hopefully gets fixed, and then we'll proceed to putting all the other stuff into the car. I know the car turns on, runs. It drove up here. I was at the place this car stayed at, and the car turned on and drove fine before the whole mishap came on. And then you know, I'm not going to turn it on right now because I didn't get the you know, the extra 5 gallons, so I don't want to waste the gas. So what I'm going to do pretty much is I'm going to tear the whole engine harness out of the car. I'm going to tear out everything that's added on over here, like all of these guys, whatever these are, identify and repair, and pretty much make all of this as if it was all original again, and then start from scratch. So I have the engine harness taken out right here, and I believe they said they swapped this harness with another one from the original one that was in the car. So all I'm doing with this harness is using my multimeter. I'm just gonna probe every single wire from the sensor to the plug that goes to the firewall harness to make sure they all have continuity and there's no break in any of the wires. Now, I did notice that when I was over there at the place this car was at, the distributor, not this one, but the distributor plug over here, once you plug it into the harness itself, these guys push out, right? And they were having issues with a few of these guys popping out, and that's the downfall of these aftermarket eBay distributors. You can see right there, it's not making any type of connection, right? And that right there can cause a lot of issues. So we're doing the Honda coil pack, so I'm getting rid of that anyways, but I'm gonna pin that in just a second here. But I also noticed that when I was checking this car out before, it had a couple of check engine lights, if I can remember off the top of my head. They were code 9 CYP cylinder sensor, right? And then there was a code 21 VTEC spool solenoid valve, and then there was a code for, I believe it was 15 ignition output signal. So that's the 3 codes prior to taking this car apart that I'm gonna have to figure out. But I'm gonna go ahead and pin that guy right there, then we'll move into the passenger footwell and figure out all of the ECU plug mess down there. Just finished cleaning up the harness. I re-loomed it a little bit on all the areas that were exposed of wires and such. And I only check continuity for the wires that like are important. Obviously, I didn't check like the idle air control valve, intake, air temp, and stuff like that because there weren't any check engine lights for them. But I did check the crucial parts like the injector wiring. I checked the alternator. I checked the you know, the distributor wires. I checked for the VTEC wire right here. Where is it at? This guy right here, VTEC pressure switch. Just checking all the continuity between the plugs all the way through to the harness side. So if it's making connection, obviously that's going to make connection to the ECU. So I checked all the main stuff. I double checked the wiring for the GM 3-bar map sensor here, because obviously this is not a Honda plug. So I had to resolder all of the wires that were you know, connected on for this plug, and made sure that this makes a connection to that, so it doesn't you know, cause an issue with idles and stuff like that. So the harness is ready to go back in, but before I get to doing that, I'm going to move into the passenger side here. I'm pretty much just going to like figure out what this guy is, what is this guy. You see how they're all pinned like that. Where is this going in the engine bay? A lot of cut wires, like no idea what this is. Okay guys, so I got the passenger footwell ECU side harness, all that shenanigan that was going on in this corner kind of sorted out. Got the fuse box mounted on the firewall, so that's not going to move all over the place like it did before. I pulled the power cables through the firewall, loomed it all up, and then fed it back to the starter. The cabin harness stuff is kind of tucked up in this corner out of the you know, floor here, so that way passengers don't kick it if there is any passenger, because there's no seats in here. But all of the stuff that went through the frame to the fender side, I didn't touch them because that's not my concern as of right now. I may retuck it if I have some time after finishing the car, but everything is loomed into the ECU harness. So before I wrap up this side, I got to figure out how to wire in the coil pack retrofit system with these guys right here, see where they go, you know, wire them in, and then, you know, pretty much run the coil pack and everything on the engine. And then I got to install the engine harness as well too, so we can plug them up.
Engines with distributor base ignition system, B, D, F, and H series Honda engines. It does this by replacing the stock coil and ignition with an electric.
When any one of the cats pick on Lucy, right? Even the dog, Meow Meow always come and defends her, because she was sniffing his T-bone and he came charging, and he came real fast. Even his kids, when they attack her, he comes and breaks it up. That's awesome, Meow Meow. That's awesome. Okay guys, so I got the CPR kit wiring inside the car, all buttoned up. There are 4 wires you have to wire into the OBD1A plug. The red wire, you can see right there, red, which is this guy right here, goes to the A25, which is power, right there. Do not use a crimp, as Honda would say. Splice it, solder it in, and then the ground, which is the black wire right there, right here, goes to A23 right here. You can see it's spliced and soldered in. And then there is a purple wire right there, goes all the way across, comes all the way back, and that goes to, I believe, A16 right here. There's a wire already in there, and typically the Honda kit came with the ends already pinned, but because this came out of somebody else's car, they cut it. So the pin that was already existing in here, this yellow white, I pretty much just snipped it in the end, and then I soldered in the purple wire. The last wire, which is the yellow red stripe right here, you can see that goes all the way across, comes all the way back, and then that's supposed to be wired into A22, which is right here in the back. A22, bottom row, 3 pins from right to left. And then I was confused on the write-up, because the write-up said, you know, A22, and then the image shows that it was into A21, and then the Honda video on YouTube said the same thing, it goes to A22, but he was cutting the A21 slot. Now I looked at the diagram on Google, A21 and A22 is the same thing. So because I don't have a pin there, I pretty much snipped A21 and just wired in the yellow red, which is right here. So now these guys are pretty much ready to go, and I screwed the coil pack retrofit to the cover of the ECU so it doesn't move all over the place. And when you take out the ECU, you can take out the retrofit as well too. And I'm gonna show you guys the distributor coil pack stuff inside the engine bay. Okay, so all the other parts in relation to the Honda CPR kit, or you know, the Honda Rules cop kit, you're gonna need obviously your distributor, right? Because you're still gonna be picking up signals from the inside of the distributors that the ECU is gonna be looking for. And then You know, you pretty much need the coil packs itself. You can use cells, you can use OEM Honda K20s, and a plate to hold your coils in place, the harness obviously, and there are 3 more things that you got to do with wiring here in the engine bay. The yellow right here goes to power on the distributor. Obviously the OBD2, which one of these guys are power, and on the OBD1 power would be the black and yellow wire. And then the second wire is, I believe, the green one, which is tach signal. So this goes to this plug like so if you're OBD2. For OBD1, it's going to be the blue guy. Now if you have another plug like this, you can you know, wire it into the harness side, which is right here, to make it plug and play. And then once you do this mod, you take off the original cap, and then you take off the coil that's on the inside. You remove that because obviously you're individual coils now, and then you can get yourself one of these fancy looking distributor caps, right? Because obviously we don't need a spark plug you know, nipples sticking out here anymore. Or you can just leave it on if you can't afford one of these for the time being. It'll work just fine. So the third wire is going to be ground, and they recommend that ground has to be on the thermostat since this is the main ground. So you just hook up this sucker right there. These guys all hook up there. So right now I'm going to install all of this, figure out the wiring, and then I got to take off after that. Voila. So I had a rampage through my garage earlier to find an OBD1 plug, because I realized that distributor is an OBD2. So I depinned, repinned, and now they're all plugged up. Got these guys wired in right here from the, you know, the retrofit harness, and the ground cable is connected right there. So everything is hooked up into place. Now this is not permanently in place because we still have to switch out the spark plugs for a resistor type plug, and I'm gonna have to go get that tomorrow. And there's nothing else I can do as far as tonight goes, because we still got to create a base map, you know, the laptop, all that jazz. We'll set it up tomorrow. Alex came over, and this was my spare transmission I put together a while back, and I'm trading Alex for his stock one because he's gonna be putting his motor together tomorrow. And this one has the reinforced shift forks 1-2, and also has an LS 5th gear. If you guys don't know, my CRX has an LS 5th gear, works cherry, and you know, because this car is gonna be his commuter, he's gonna need that MPG, bro. Remember SoCal and back 33 MPG in my CRX, bro? That was killer. So it's like stupid late right now. It's 12:23 right now, guys, and I'm wrapping it up. He just finished buttoning up everything right now. These are the last bolts he's gonna bolt up, and then he's gonna take that home with him tonight. But tomorrow we're gonna continue on this, guys. Base map, spark plugs, and then hook up the ECU and all that good stuff. A lot to do tomorrow, guys. Hopefully we can fire it up, and shit, might even take it for a pull. Alright guys, so welcome back. This morning I spent my time grocery shoplifting, and then when I came back here I met Alex. Alex was wanting to get started on swapping his wagon with the B20 all-wheel drive transmission, and also do the turbo kit after the car is all, you know, up and running and so on and so forth. So he was chilling here. We were kind of going through my bin to see what I had lying around. He's going to be using his turbo, his wastegate, this manifold, which is B series, and this is the only one that I have that's not claimed, you know what I mean? So we have nearly everything to turbo his wagon after the swap. So he went back home. He's already started to tear down the A6 motor out of his car, and he also dropped me off some spark plugs right here. So with coil pack, you have to run a resistor type plug, and this is the BKR8EIX, and part number for the 9 would be the BKR9EIX, and I always ran the 4554, which is plug 8, and this is the plug 8 with the resistor. So I'm gonna gap these to 25, toss them in the car, and I think the only thing we need left for the car is a base map. So as soon as Mel decides he wants to get off the hood, we'll pop it, and then we'll get the spark plugs installed. Hopefully try to get a base map rolling so we could fire this car today. Excuse me, sir? 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 In case you guys ever wondered why he has 6 toes, he's a polydactyl breed. Polydactyl has an extra, like, thumb. I'm gonna let you guys know right now, this car has not ran in a long time other than being started on. I'm gonna let you guys know right now that this car has not been driven or raced in a long time other than occasionally turning it on. And I just took out the spark plugs for cylinder number 2, and there's a fucking roach on the threads. And guess what? It's alive too. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's all smushed up and his whiskers are freaking moving. I don't know how long he's been down there, but I guess cockroaches can withstand heat, huh? Ugh. So I decided before I put it in the spark plugs, I want to do a compression test. This right here is engine is cold, obviously, and throttle wide open. We are looking at 215 in cylinder 1. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this car has some really good compression. That's good news, for sure. After a while, I finally got the laptop connected to, you know, internet. The thing about my garage and right here, as soon as I step out of the garage, the Wi-Fi dies. And if I go over there, the Wi-Fi works, but obviously the car is here. So I decided to just hook up my hotspot instead. And Jeremy's on the team viewer and he's about to set up a base map for the car so we can fire it. Okay, so after a little while, Jeremy has set up a base map for the car and we are ready to fire. Fire now. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know what's up with the air fuel ratio though. It's all stuck on 7.4, but it's been stuck there. And this doesn't run right. And oil pressure gauge doesn't work, obviously. So no idea there. It's freaking awesome. Sounds a ton better than what it was before. Coil pack's working. And that is pretty much it, guys. So my job here is kind of sort of done. There's still a few more little things I got to do tomorrow to button up this car, but as far as tonight goes, we are gonna wrap it up. I am definitely stoked to hear this car not misfire, and all the check engine lights that was on the car before it came here is all gone. So I hope Dukes and Carlene is going to get this car prepped for the dyno here soon, guys. I am definitely going to record that for you guys. It's been a long time since I've seen this thing run, 2012. And it's nice to hear it up and going again, so I am definitely stoked to see what this car is going to put on the dyno. But you guys are going to have to stick around for that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to see Duke's car make some power in the dyno. And obviously, we're trying to get this car ready for Race Wars coming up here in a few weeks. So tomorrow, I'll get back on the coupe, and I'll also give you guys some updates on Alex's car, which is where I am headed right now. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But with that being said, OG subscribers and new subscribers, I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing this car make some jam. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video. I stabbed my thumb today too. Peace.